Today on the podcast, we're talking marketing, corporate trainings, and grabbing the bull by the balls. This is the Kansas City Podcast. Welcome to the Kansas City Podcast. I am your host, Cole Lindbergh. Many of you know me as the guy who didn't drink enough water during the heat advisory. And if not, it's nice to meet you. It's hot as hell. It is hot as hell. Thank you, Kansas City weather. Thank you, Brian Busby. Each week, we are joined by a one-of-a-kind KC native for a conversation on life in the city of fountains. And I'm very excited. I have a very special guest today. She is a blogger. She is an entrepreneur. She is a mom. And I'm excited to hear her story today. She does a lot of cool things with, like blogging. And I'm always intrigued by blogs. I'm intrigued by blogs because it's something that I tried many years ago, failed miserably. And so anytime I can talk to a blogger or someone that helps people with their blogs, I'm always intrigued. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome here to the Kansas City Podcast, Angie Gensler. Angie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cole. I'm excited to be here. And I did drink my water today.
Oh, very good. I stepped outside today and, it's that type of sweat where you just immediately, or that type of heat where you just immediately start sweating. Uh-huh. That's my least favorite type of heat. Yeah. You can't breathe. The car, it doesn't matter. The air conditioner doesn't work. You're screwed.
Yeah, I call that hot as balls.
So, Angie, let's talk about you today. There's a really interesting story going on here because this is what I know, and I'm going to need you to help me fill in the gaps.
Okay.
You were like a big superstar marketing person. Can I say that?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
And then you said, you know what? I'm quitting my job.
Yep, I said screw it.
And now you are doing something different. And so I always like these stories about people that do that. It reminds me of one of my favorite shows, Shark Tank. Like when somebody's like, they like leave, like I had a real cushy job, but I had to follow my dream. And I had to produce this inflatable pool, and you sharks are going to love it. Here's 20%. And this is my dream. So can you tell me the story? Because you were working for like a big corporate...
Yep. Big, well-known company and publicly traded company.
And you left.
And I left. I left it all.
You left it all?
Yep.
Why?
To pursue this. Okay, so it started back in 2016.
Okay.
They were putting me through this big leadership training program.
Okay.
It was basically to groom the next level of executives for the company.
So yeah. It's like hey, you're really great, but you got to go through this to get to the next level.
Like if you want to be a VP or
whatever.
You
want to be a superstar.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to go through this fancy training. And so I had to travel so much that year. I think we had to go 6 different times for 4 nights to cities all over the country and learn all this stuff. And after my second trip, it was in March, and I came back and my son started saying every single night before bed, he would say, "Mommy, are you going to be here all day tomorrow?" And every night I would have to say, "No, honey, I'm not going to be here tomorrow," if I was going to work.
Right.
Or if I was going on a trip, then I would have to say, "No, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be gone for 4 days." And every single time I had to say, "No, honey, I'm not going to be here tomorrow."
Yeah.
A piece of my heart just like broke, and it was
How old's your son?
Devastating.
How is he
At
then?
the time, he was 4.
Okay.
And this continued all the way up until 2 weeks after I had quit my job.
Oh, wow.
And then my daughter, she was 2 at the time. She started picking it up after a while.
Oh,
so then every single night, I would have to field that question from both of my kids. "Mommy, are you going to be here all day tomorrow?" And I was like, oh my gosh, it just devastated me. And then it compounded in July. So then it was, I think, our 4th or 5th trip. July of 2016.
Okay.
So that same year. And we went to New York City for our leadership meeting.
Yeah.
And so we're in sessions all day long. And we're in there till 5 o'clock.
Training session. Oh,
yes.
God, they're the worst. They are such the worst. I've sat through like corporate training sessions. They are the freaking worst. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I had to sit through like personality assessments and
Like you take the quiz and they're like, oh, we think you would be a good match for this.
know,
That type of crap. Oh,
Yep.
man.
I'm an ENFJ, by the way.
Oh, really? And I'm an ABCDF yourself. Like, that's how I feel about that crap. Okay, so you're sitting in these sessions, and what?
Okay, so we go in these sessions all day, and then at night we blow off steam. Everyone goes out, we go drinking together, we go hang out.
And you're in New York.
Yeah, and we're in New York City.
Okay.
And so there's probably 6 of us that after dinner we're like, we're gonna take the subway, we're gonna go down to Ground Zero, we're gonna go have a good time.
Yeah.
And it's probably 10 o'clock at night. And we're down at Ground Zero, and then we're like, let's keep this going. Let's go to Wall Street. And I was like, yes, I want to go see the bull. So we go see the bull.
Oh, yeah, the bull. Okay.
Yeah, the bull of Wall Street. And so we're there, and we're taking funny pictures. And I tell my coworker, I'm like, I'm going to grab this bull's balls. Like, I'm like, you take a picture of me. So I get down on the ground, and I'm like all up in this bowl, and I'm like grabbing him. Loving on him hard, right?
The Wall Street Bull. Okay.
The Wall Street Bull.
Okay.
And I'm taking all these silly photos, and he's taking them all. And they're all on his phone because my phone sucked.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's hilarious. We go back, no big deal.
Yeah.
The next day, he's showing everyone the photos. And I was a little embarrassed. I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, that was...
You partied. You had fun.
Yeah, it was... And it was all in good fun. It was all innocent. And... So everyone's laughing, and everybody's like, oh, that's hilarious, no big deal.
Yeah.
I go back to the office, and on Monday, my HR leader calls me into her office, and she says, I heard you took some inappropriate photos on your work trip. I'm going to have to write this in your file, and you may get fired because of this. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And I was like so mad. I call my dad. He's a lawyer. And so I was like, Dad, what do I do? Like, I need some advice. And he goes, well, first of all, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
And he's like, second of all, don't let her put in your file that you took inappropriate photos. Like,
Yeah.
that could mean anything. So he kind of advised me what to do, what to say. And it turned out it really didn't turn into anything.
Yeah.
Okay. It died down. But in that moment, I knew. I was like, you know what? This is not the right place for me.
Yeah.
If this company does not want a woman that will grab life by the balls, I do not belong here.
Literally.
I know. I'm like, and if they can't appreciate that it was 10 o'clock at night, yes, I was on a work trip, but it was after sessions.
Yeah.
We're having fun. It's a joke. It's a statue.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, and they have to watch their butts and stuff.
Yep.
So how much longer then after that was it kind of like, I mean, you had that epiphany right then, like, this is not for me. So was it like super quick after, like, I'm done? Or did you kind of like wait it out a bit or like start something? And then I assume a lot of times, like, because I remember being in situations where I was just kind of like, okay, I can't leave a job or I can't do something different. I've got to find that other thing out there that I want to do. So what happened next?
Yeah, so that kind of started, it was 5 months, I think, of Trevor and I just exploring ideas.
Yeah.
And Trevor's
your husband.
Yes. Sorry, Trevor is my husband. And
who the hell's Trevor?
Yeah, who's this Trevor
Who's
guy?
a new character in the story? Who's this guy?
He's the bull. So Trevor and I are exploring different ideas, different options, and it took a while because Trevor's also a stay-at-home daddy, and I was the sole supporter for our family, and I felt this huge weight on my shoulders, and it was just like, oh my God, I don't have the luxury to just quit. I don't have the luxury, and the company, even though, I knew it wasn't right for me, they're still a wonderful company, wonderful people. I had total flexibility and autonomy.
Oh, okay.
And I knew that was really special, especially with 2 kids. If my son had a special activity at work, I didn't have to tell anybody or ask permission. I just went and did it. And so I knew that was really unique and special.
Yeah.
And so Trevor and I knew, okay, the option was not to just jump ship and go to the next corporate job where I'm going to find myself in the same situation or worse. But if we want this future or whatever it is that we want, this life that we want to create, we have to create it ourselves.
Right.
We have to build it ourselves. And we had owned companies in the past. We built a photo booth company from scratch. And so we knew that we could build something. Mm-hmm. And so we just started exploring ideas. And it took us until November. And we were on a date night in November. And that's when we finally decided. We finally finalized, like, okay, it's going to be a marketing blog because I was a professional marketer for years, have my MBA in marketing. Thought, okay, I'm going to teach people how to do social media and digital marketing. We'll call it angiegensler.com, and there we go. And we had explored different business models too. And we loved the business model of running a blog because in our previous businesses, we knew that, and this is going to make me sound horrible, but and I hope it doesn't come across this way, but we really did not like working so closely with customers.
Oh.
And not that we don't like customers, but it's more in the sense that we wanted to do things on our time.
Right.
You know, with our rules, at our speed. And we didn't want to have to live by someone else's schedule and answer to the customers.
You want to be your own boss.
Exactly. Yeah. And we wanted to be able to come and go as we please and work when we wanted and have the freedom and flexibility to work wherever we wanted. So
when you were doing the corporate marketing, right? And so it was for like a big company. So were you doing their social media stuff, or were you doing like their ad buy stuff, or were you like creative, like trying to come up with ideas for it?
I was doing it all.
You were doing it all.
Yep,
okay.
I was doing it all. So, and I actually started with that company. I started as a marketing coordinator for a small team within the Kansas City office, and then I kept expanding the role. And at the time, I had the most amazing. He was the general manager of the district of this part of the company, and I just kept going to him and saying, I can do more. I can do bigger. I can. And so the role just kept expanding and expanding until I was the leader for the whole district. And I had a few people that were supporting me and working with me. But what I loved so much about it is I was able to touch everything. So I did the social media. I built the website from scratch. I wrote all the copy and created all the marketing materials, designed them all myself, got to create any ads. I mean, it was just a lot of fun.
Were they sad when you left?
Yeah, I think everybody was very shocked.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very shocked. Were
you able to tell them that, like, oh, part of the reason is because you guys think that me having fun in New York on a evening is inappropriate? Or
no,
like, that would be the thing that would tick me off, where you're like, I am a great employee, I go out of my way to work my butt off, and then you guys basically, I don't understand what the deal is, something harmless, and okay, did someone complain? Do you know who it is? Are you gonna beat them up?
So I'm pretty sure I do know who complained.
Oh.
She lives down in Atlanta though, so it's like, and no harm done. I'm kind of, I'm actually really thankful that it happened.
Yeah.
And actually, I probably wouldn't beat her up. I may go give her a hug and say, thank you, I owe you, because none of this would have started.
Because now you're basically following, what you want to do and being your own boss. Okay, so let's talk about, because you are a professional marketer, you have all this experience in marketing, so I'm intrigued as to how the idea of starting a blog about like helping people better marketers, like how that began. Because I would think that, when in marketing such a weird business, because there's all these businesses in marketing, so you could like help other companies, you could do it. So, but like you kind of went, and I don't know of many marketers that do a blog that advertises marketing. you're a blog that's marketing.
I know it's gonna.
And so that's the thing that's like interesting to me. So how is that aspect going? Like how's it going for you?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, there's actually
because you're reputable, so like people can say like, oh, she's in marketing forever, but like at the same time you're talking to people that are trying to build their blog.
Yep.
And so I mean, are bloggers still out there? Like, I don't like. I'm so angry all the time at blogging, because I was just like, I tried blogging and man, I just hated it.
Oh. Well, what is it that you hated?
I think the thing that I hated most about it because I had a lot of different ideas of what I wanted to blog about. I was like, oh, I could talk about amusement parks, because I was an amusement park guy. I could talk about movies, like you try to think of like all these different things. I think I didn't really have a focus, and I just wanted to like have like, oh, here's my cool fun blog. Like, you remember when you were younger, did you have a Zanga? No. The journal, like an online journal, like live journal or anything like that? And so I think I kind of thought that it was supposed to be one of those things where you're just you're telling the world different type of
sharing your
things.
thoughts.
You're sharing your thoughts, or you're talking about things you like. I think at the time I didn't have a focus for it. And so now when I look back on it, I'm just kind of mad at myself because I'm like, I probably could have stuck with it, but I'm worried that I'm too all over the place. Like, I think because then for a while I had a blog where I was talking about management and leadership training and things like that. And I got sick of it. I just, like, I do not want to focus on this. Like, this is not fun to me. And I know there's people that think I have those types of skills and they want to hear what I have to say about it, but I don't like writing about customer service. I don't like writing about, here's what you should do to make your employees happy, like, and it's just kind of like, I got real sick of it real quick. And so your focus, though, is marketing.
Yep.
Okay, so tell me how. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, you're good.
So tell me how it's going. Tell me what you're dealing with, like in the marketing world, of marketing to market. Like, I don't know. How does it work?
Okay, it's good. It's going good.
Okay,
and,
great.
Okay, so the biggest place where I'm finding the bloggers is on Pinterest.
Okay.
And the funny thing is so many people kind of forget about Pinterest, and they think it's just for moms and women.
My wife loves Pinterest.
Oh yeah, I mean it's huge with the female demographic,
Yeah.
but there's actually a lot of males on there, and they think, okay, Pinterest is for food, fitness, fashion, but there's actually a ton of niches on there, and there's a buttload of bloggers.
Okay.
So everyone pretty much who is a blogger, if you're a blogger, you need to be on Pinterest because that's where people go to read content, and they go for recipes or advice or how-to or tips.
Okay.
And so YouTube is another great place.
Yeah.
But with Pinterest, they come out there looking for these specific things, and it's all the bloggers that are out there to share their own content. So they're active on Pinterest.
Right.
So then I just share my blog posts about how to grow your blog, how to get traffic to your blog. I share that out on Pinterest where all these bloggers live. Yeah. And then I'm getting all that traffic from them.
And then they're coming to you and asking for it. Don't you have some type of program to help them?
Yep.
Or?
I have a course. I have a course that actually teaches how to use Pinterest to drive traffic to your website. And then I have a couple ebooks. So I have one on how to start your blog and then one on how to design viral pins. Yeah. So Pinterest images that will go viral. And
okay.
Yeah. So
do you worry? And I've asked this question to other. I think I've asked this question on the show before because I was talking to Monica Woodhams, who was on the show, and we were talking a lot about Instagram. And I asked the question of, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly how I asked it, but are you worried about, like, Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and stuff? You don't control those.
That's correct.
You have no control over them whatsoever. And so it's same with YouTube. And so if you're making a living off of posting things there or doing influencing type stuff, who's to say that, a year from now, the whole thing could change and they could do something totally different or whatever? Is Pinterest kind of the same way?
Pinterest is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes,
Isn't that scary, though?
It can be. But here's what you do to kind of buffer that.
Yeah.
So you also need to focus completely on building your own email list.
Oh.
So I have an email list, and it's over 6,000 now.
Wow.
And all of those people, I own those email addresses.
Right.
And so now I send them weekly emails. I can retarget to them on Facebook, or I can retarget to them on Pinterest. I can even retarget on YouTube. Yeah. But I own this list of these people. So even though, Pinterest could fall, Pinterest could die. Yeah. And that explodes my traffic strategy.
Have a base group there that you could always talk to.
I still have those people. And, and in the background, I'm always doing SEO. Right. And Trevor, my husband, not the bull. Trevor, my husband, is really tech savvy. He's really good at that. So he does all the SEO for me behind the scenes.
Search engine optimization.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So he makes sure that all of my blog posts have the right keywords. He does the keyword research. And we're actually really starting to get some good traction on that now.
That's awesome.
So we have, you kind of have to do the long-term strategy to make sure that you're sustainable and you have the sustainable source of traffic. And that's what we really view as SEO. And then we have the short-term strategy, which is Pinterest. Yeah. And when I launched my blog, so I launched it December of 2016, and Trevor and I were expecting, we had on the whiteboard right behind you, we had a goal on there was to get 100 email subscribers by July.
Yeah.
And we launched in December, and we had 110 days.
Wow.
And it was like bonkers. And
That's awesome.
it was so cool. And it was all Pinterest.
Wow.
All of that traffic came from Pinterest. And I had a really killer lead magnet. I was giving away a social media content calendar.
Yeah.
And so I had a prompt every single day of 2017 of what they should post on social media.
Yeah.
And that thing just went nuts. And I had 500 email subscribers within my first 30 days. And
wow.
It was crazy. And I think I had over 5,000 page views that first 30 days. So
that's really impressive. That's amazing.
You.
So let's say, let's hypothetical here.
Okay.
Let's say that I want to restart a blog, and I have a focus. I want to do it. What are some? Can you give me some good blogging tips, like some free blogging tips today on like things that I should do, or things that if there's someone out? No, not me. Let's talk about me. Yes. If I want to start my blog, what should I think about?
Okay.
Or what's some things that I should focus on?
Yep. First, I would get a very specific, narrowed down niche.
Okay.
So like you're saying, it really shouldn't be kind of this general, oh, here's my thoughts on this, my thoughts on that. Something really specific.
Okay.
Maybe it's a blog about how to start a podcast.
Okay.
But, like you said, it also needs to be something that it'll hold your focus.
Okay.
And you can be passionate about it for a long time. Because I think a lot of people, too, they fall into that trap of, okay, I've niched down so specifically, but now after 3 months, I'm bored with this.
Right.
So you also got to kind of test that and make sure, like, is this something that I truly care about, that I'm truly passionate about?
Okay.
Because the other thing that I will say, blogging is not for the faint of heart. It is. it's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And you have days where people will reach out and they'll thank you for what you do, and they'll, oh my gosh, I love you, I'm so happy I found you, and you feel on top of the world. And then you could go weeks with nothing, and you hear from nobody.
You should try podcasting.
And you're just like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Like, does anybody care? Is anybody listening? So you have to be really passionate about it. Otherwise, it's so easy to just say, screw it.
Yeah.
This isn't worth it. I'm done.
So I get my passion.
Yep,
I get my niche, my passion, something that, okay.
Yep. And then you need, your actual website. So we use WordPress, and I teach WordPress. I know you said your podcast is on
I use Squarespace. I use Squarespace
Yep.
because I used WordPress in the past for like an old website, and I didn't find it as user friendly as I wanted it to be, because and it was more so along the lines of, I know I could probably spend more time learning it, but I found it to be really what's the word I'm looking for? Utilitarian, because it's just like, all these different like menu bars and menu bars upon menu bars upon menu bars. And I was just like, this is going to drive me crazy. And so when I decided to start the podcast, I was like, I want a really cool looking website, something that I could easily change and stuff. So I went with Squarespace, and it's a little more expensive, but I like the tools that they have and stuff. And it works for me, it works for me. But I mean, I know WordPress has if you're smart with WordPress or any type of like actual like HTML and all that other stuff, you can do some crazy things with it. But I have no idea how to even do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Squarespace is fine. I know there's lots of bloggers that use that, and it works wonders for them. Yeah. So you set up your website, and then the next thing that I always recommend is you need some sort of killer lead magnet. And so for me, that was that content calendar.
Okay, so when you say lead, like, is that like, so you were giving away a content count, like, and was that a physical thing, or was it?
It was a PDF download.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it was just a digital product. So find something, and it can be something small. I mean, a lot of people, it's a one-page checklist or a cheat sheet. Maybe it's a quick start guide. It could be a workbook. There's a lot of different things that you can use your lead magnet for. And the whole purpose of it, you want it to have some sort of value, relevant to your niche, relevant to that target audience. So whoever it is your target customer, figure out their number one pain point. What's that pain point they have, and how can you solve it? Yeah. Is there something small that you can give them? Maybe it's not the whole thing, but is there something small that you can give them to help them start to solve that pain point? Yes. And in exchange for their email address. That's how you start to build that email list that you own.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then now you can get in front of these people day after day. Well, you don't want to email them day after day, but don't do that.
Hey, Barry, how are you?
I really miss you.
Just wanted to send you a quick email. Hope all's well. Thanks for signing up.
Yeah.
Next day, hey, Barry, how are you?
Just thinking about you. Yeah.
Thanks again for signing up. Don't worry, no more emails for another week.
Please don't unsubscribe. Yeah, so then you own that list, and anytime you come up with something new, you release a new blog post or a new podcast episode, you can email them. And so now you're getting that traffic, because then they'll come back to your site again and again and again.
Got it.
Yep. So those are the first steps. I'd say figure out your niche, your passion, what's your lead magnet, who's that ideal customer, what's that pain point that you can solve. That's kind of the best way to get started.
Interesting. Okay. These are all very, very good tips. I'm sure there's someone listening that is like, I'm learning so much.
I hope so.
So what does the future hold then for this? I mean, like, is it just continuing to grow your email list, continuing to grow the amount of people that you're helping? Like, is there some other kind of long-term goal from this?
Yeah. So Trevor, my husband, and I, we've kind of mapped out exactly what we want this to look like when it's done. And we have a lot of different products that we want to create. We're kind of in hyper creation mode and just wanting to create more courses, more ebooks, more products to help people and to teach them. And the other thing with blogging is it can also be really overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because not only do you need to figure out how to build a website, manage a website, figure out how to actually blog, but there's more to it. You can't just write. You need to have some sort of a purpose for everything that you write. Your blogs need to have a strong call to action because you want your reader to actually take some sort of action. Otherwise, they're just going to leave and you may never hear from them again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pieces to it. You need to have opt-in forms and good graphics and a good, outreach, social media strategy. So there's so much to it. And it can be really overwhelming, particularly if someone has never been, in the marketing world. They've never done this type of work.
Right.
It's really daunting and overwhelming. So our goal is to have kind of these clear roadmaps for people and to make it as simple as possible and to take out a lot of that tech pain because there's so much, just a lot of, I think, fear that people hold about the technical aspects of it. And a lot of people have this story that they say about themselves. They'll say like, well, I'm not tech savvy or I'm not good with computers. And it's like, maybe that story would have held true 5 years ago, but today, the way that technology is, there's so many user-friendly tools out there, like Squarespace, that anybody can do it.
Yeah. Do you at all miss like the stability of having like a regular job?
I miss the stable paycheck.
Okay.
I do miss that.
Yeah.
I don't miss having to go in every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't miss that. And it's funny too. You asked me that today. I was just getting text messages from an old coworker before you got here, talking about something that I used to deal with all the time, some drama. And she's like, I know you're the only one that'll understand this. Nobody here gets it. And she's just ranting on text, and I'm ranting back. And I told Trevor, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I am so glad I don't have to be around that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that. I get to create what I want to create in the space that I want to create it in. And there's just, the stress is not there anymore. And everything just feels, there's a lot more joy and ease with my work now.
Well, that's the exciting part, because usually, when you basically put yourself out to the fire, right? Just kind of like, all right, I'm done. We're going to do this. Go for it. I mean, there's that excitement factor of it, and then usually immediately after there's that like, oh my god, what have I done factor, and then like the scary part, like, oh, can we wait, what, oh, now we're in this, like we're totally in this. So do you think, let me ask this question, and I'm gonna word it in such a way that I think you'll understand. Has it reached a point to where you're like, I feel the constant, like, it's constant enough to where I don't have to freak out that tomorrow, if I don't get any more emails or
any more sales.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. I feel like I've gone through the 12, is it like 12 stages of grief or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, right.
I feel like I've gone through all of those stages and now I'm finally like out.
Yeah.
So my first month after I had quit was like on cloud 9. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is the greatest. And I felt so free and alive. And then like after that first month, it was like, oh shit. Like,
what have I done?
What have I done? Like, oh my God. I'm like, I have 2 children.
Yeah.
I have like, you know, I have this family. I have a mortgage. Like, I have responsibilities. Like, my dad didn't raise me this way. You know, like, what have I done?
I made a big mistake.
Yeah. And Trevor talked me off the ledge.
Okay, good.
And now I'm you know, I've gone through it. And now I'm just in a place back to that place of ease, that joy. And I'm not going to lie, there's still those moments.
Yeah.
You know, and I think everybody has them, even when you're in a corporate stable job. You still have
Right.
those moments of just like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? But, you know, I just still trust and have faith and believe that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And even if I'm going to say quote unquote, like even if it fails,
Yeah.
but to me, I don't think it's a failure because there's still all these things that I'm creating throughout this process. I can still continue to sell forever.
Yeah.
So even if for some reason I have to go back into the corporate world, I'm still so grateful for this time that I'm having, you know, with my family, home with my kids,
Yeah,
able
you're not
to create.
having to leave, and you know you're not going to have to say, "Oh, I'll be back in 4 days." I mean, that should be enough in itself, right?
Yeah.
That's very exciting. See, I love talking to people that go and like decide to try something or follow their dreams, I guess you could say, or do something that, you know, I think that there's so many people that get like really complacent in stuff they're doing, you know, and it's just kind of like, this to me is just a job, you know, and I'm just going to do this forever and ever and ever and ever. And you know that there's a part of them that's like slowly dying.
Yes.
And you're just like, come on, go out there. If you want to do it, try it. And so I think it's very admirable and exciting that you have gone down this path.
Thank you.
Very-
Yeah, it was
It was
not an easy decision to make. I will say that. Yeah.
it never is.
Yeah.
We are going to take a quick break. We will be right back here on the Kansas City Podcast. Happy 4th of July to you. I hope you're enjoying this week. If you're listening to this on the 4th of July, hey, be careful. You know, the firecrackers, I don't want anybody to hurt themselves. I don't want you to blow off your hand. I know it's really cool to put some stuff together or, you know, create a sparkler bomb or you know, something along those lines. Just be careful, folks. That's my only advice to you today. But yeah, I mean, it's still cool as hell, so go for it. Hey, if you have not told your friends about the show, you should tell them about the show. I say this every single week. We are coming up. This is very exciting. We are coming up on 1 year of the Kansas City Podcast. Can you believe this? 1 year of doing this show. I am very excited. We will have a 1-year celebration in the near future. In the meantime, tell your friends, write us a review, subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast. And, all right, let's get back to the show here with Angie and the KC Quiz. Welcome back to the Kansas City Podcast. Cole Lindbergh here with Angie Gensler. Hi, Angie.
Hello.
Angie, during the break, you were giving me a ton of marketing tips, and I basically have narrowed down my blog and what I want to talk about, and I want to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
And what you think. I have a very fondness for small gerbils. I think gerbils are beautiful small creatures, and I want to start a blog about gerbil fashion.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think maybe you could get Richard Gere on as like a spokesperson.
You know what? I'm sold. I think that's a brilliant idea. Hey, you want to take the KC quiz?
I do. Let's do it.
All right, it's time for the KC quiz. Angie, you know how this works. I'm going to ask you some silly questions. Not silly, they're great questions. You will be rewarded points.
Sweet.
If you do not like a question, you can always say, stupid question.
Okay.
And remember, folks, you can tweet us at Kansas City Pod if you would like your question added to the KC quiz. I just asked you this a little bit. How long have you lived in Kansas City now?
14 years.
14 years. Okay, so you're going to be a pro at this.
Okay.
All right?
I hope so.
I believe it. Okay, so we always start with this question.
Okay.
And there's no right or wrong answer, but it is strictly your opinion. If you have more than one, that's okay. Your favorite restaurant that is not barbecue.
Oh, Lulu's.
Lulu's, Thai.
Love Lulu's.
Okay.
Yep.
What's your go-to at Lulu's?
Thai cashew chicken.
Oh.
So good.
That actually is very tasty. Do you got any others you think of?
Any other favorite restaurants?
Yeah.
Summit Grill in Lee
Okay.
Summit.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, their tacos, those street tacos are so friggin' good.
We're going to make all these people hungry.
Like salivating thinking about them.
All right, second part of the question. Are you a barbecue person? Do you have a
Yes.
favorite barbecue?
Q39.
Q39. Oh, okay.
Yep.
What's your go-to at Q39?
Gosh, everything. I really like I think I usually get the pulled pork.
Okay.
And I'm gluten free, so I have to have
Oh.
no buns, any of that.
You're gluten-free.
I'm gluten free. Yep.
Wait, is that weird?
Depends on who you're asking.
I don't know. I still kind of like gluten to me. I don't know. I don't understand it enough to have an opinion. I'm just like, how could you not eat the bread? like I was like, you can't have a sandwich without bread.
There's a lot of alternatives.
A sandwich without bread is not a
It's
sandwich.
not really a sandwich.
A hot dog without a bun.
It's just a wiener.
Yeah, it's just like you can't. I don't know. It's weird to me.
Yeah, it was a little hard in the beginning, but I haven't really missed it. I think I've been gluten free over 2 years,
Oh yeah.
and the only thing I miss is cinnamon rolls.
Oh,
Because you
can't have cinnamon rolls?
cannot replicate warm, gooey cinnamon rolls. You just can't without gluten.
I could never go gluten free then.
They have
I couldn't
to
do
have,
it.
Yeah.
Because I love cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls, cookies. Yeah, that's my
Yep.
jam.
Everything else I can replicate pretty easily, but yeah,
does it
not
taste?
cinnamon rolls.
Does it like? Is it all soy?
No, a lot of rice flours.
Okay.
A lot of like almond flour, coconut flour, stuff
Okay.
like that.
All right.
Yep.
Interesting.
Sorry, I took us down this like gluten-free rabbit.
Gluten-free roll. I'll give
Rabbit
you three points for that.
Okay.
Well done. Do you have a favorite place to like hang out? That could be maybe with the kids, or like you got a favorite spot to go hang out.
I really love pinstripes.
Oh.
I love to go play bocce ball
Okay.
at pinstripes. I'm trying to think with the kids.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of hiking.
Oh, okay.
And there's a park it's pretty close to our house. It's Charles David Hartman Park.
Okay.
And they have baseball fields. My son is obsessed with baseball. They have this awesome playground, but they have these walking trails through the woods. There's like a little creek with all these little waterfalls. It's amazing. We love
Nice.
going there a lot.
Going hiking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Independence should be replaced with a mountain? If we had a mountain, would you be cool with that?
I would be cool with that.
Okay.
I used to live in Independence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you okay with Independence being replaced by a mountain?
I'm okay with that.
All right, Independence Mountain.
Go hiking a lot there.
How do you feel about the streetcar?
I have never been on it.
You haven't gone on it
I
yet.
have never been on it. And yeah, now I feel kind of ridiculous saying that.
That's okay. There's a lot of people that haven't gone on it yet. I mean, I went and rode it once. Well, no, twice. Have I ridden it twice? No, once or twice. And, it was just kind of like, oh, cool, we have this awesome, cool thing, and you take it around and stuff. But I know people that use it, like, every day,
That's so
to
cool.
get to and from work. Or, I mean, it's a really, like, it's not just for, like, the... When I first rode it, I was like, oh, this is so great for tourists.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, there are no tourists on here. It's people going from one place to another. This is fantastic.
That is awesome. I love, too, that it seems like all along the line, like, all the businesses are booming.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, there's stuff showing up there all the time. It's awesome. Let's hear. You got to pick one. You
Okay.
ready? Worlds of Fun, the Zoo, or Schlitterbahn.
Oh, Lord. Okay, well, I can tell you one that I would say no to.
Okay.
Would be that last one. Can
Yeah.
I just throw like a total wrench in it?
Oh,
And
sure. Absolutely.
Powell Gardens.
Oh, you're going to have Powell
Gardens.
Gardens. I
Yeah.
don't. Okay.
Otherwise, I'd say the zoo.
I'm going to change that. I'm going to add Powell Gardens to the question. I'm actually going to do that right now. Because, we may need to get away from the Schlitterbahn thing. Wait, so why Powell? I've only been to Powell Gardens one time for a wedding.
Ooh, I bet that was pretty.
It was really pretty. It was in the evening, and there's that cool... I don't know.
Is it at the chapel?
It's at the chapel,
Yeah,
and like
it's
the
so pretty.
big, beautiful windows and stuff, and it kind of got dark in there and everything.
Oh, so pretty.
It was pretty. It was really pretty. I mean, it was a really pretty chapel and stuff. But I guess I was there in the evening, so I didn't really get a chance to go around through the rest of the place or anything.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I mean, it's not huge.
Right.
It's not. It's probably one of the smaller botanical gardens.
Right.
But it's gorgeous. It's peaceful. The thing that we really love about it is Trevor and I we're kind of extroverts, but sometimes we're also very introverted.
Yeah.
And we don't like crowds. And
Oh.
so, like going to Worlds of Fun would just wear us out, even though he worked there for
Yes.
many years. But it completely wears us out. So we love taking the kids to Powell Gardens, and it's just chill. And the best part is there's this restaurant there. And there's the sweetest man that owns it, that I think he owns it. I don't know. He runs the place.
Yeah.
And he makes the most amazing homemade soups. It's like to die for. I mean, it's 100 degrees outside, and I would eat his soup right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
soup at Powell Gardens.
Soup at Powell Gardens, and it's just peaceful and beautiful. And there's a section with waterfalls in the woods, and it's cool.
Okay. This is one of my new favorite questions. It was added to the quiz not long ago.
Okay.
What's your favorite KC smell?
Oh gosh.
Do you have a favorite KC smell?
Easy smell. Barbecue.
Barbecue?
Yeah. Does everybody say that?
No, not everyone has said that. So
No?
yeah, barbecue. Okay, like walking in the Q39 and the
Yeah.
waft in the air. Okay, all right, I'm with you. Here we go. You're a mom. Mm-hmm. Was Mary Poppins a good nanny?
I don't know because I always hated that movie. I've never watched the whole thing through because I find it highly obnoxious.
I think I saw online someone that said that like they were the theory that Mary Poppins was like the worst nanny of all time because she was like spoonful of sugar, and then she takes the kids to like a weird like cartoon dreamland, and then they're hanging out with a chimney sweep.
Oh my God.
So like I don't know. I was wondering, like, would you let Mary Poppins hang out with your kids?
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, after what you just said, no, I would not.
Here's more of a regional question.
Okay.
Because you're originally from Nebraska.
Yep. I'm a Husker. Woo.
No. Pop or soda?
Soda.
Is it soda?
It's soda, but it became soda when I was a waitress.
Oh,
because
okay.
I always felt really tacky saying, "Do you want some more pop?"
Okay.
Which is weird. But so then I used to always say pop. And when I became a waitress, I started saying soda.
Okay. Did you waitress in Kansas City? Or was
It was in Lincoln, Nebraska, at Chili's.
Oh, at Chili's. Okay.
At Chili's.
What's that like? Is that fun?
I will tell you, I have never been able to eat meat off the bone ever since working at Chili's.
That's
because you
not a good endorsement.
No. Well, no, I mean, it was fine, but
Yeah.
you go up to enough tables where people are gnawing on their ribs, and then you got to clear off their bones. Yeah, no, can't do it.
Gotcha. Okay. Here's a next question. What's the one thing in town that everybody should try once? Maybe you got some friends coming in from out of town. You say, "Oh, you got to try this," or even some friends around here that "Oh, you got to go do this. You got to try this thing, or see this thing, or go to this thing." What do you got?
Oh, that's a really good
I
question.
know it's a tough one, right?
Holy cow.
It's a tough question.
That is
Lots
a
of points on the line.
Ooh. Okay, well, as far as restaurants, I would absolutely say you have to go to Q39.
Okay.
I feel like this is like a whole endorsement for Q39
Yeah, no,
right
that's
now.
fine.
Then I'm big into nature, so I would probably recommend I think it's the Lake Vista Trail over at Lake Jacomo.
Oh.
Go hiking that trail. Trevor and I were hiking that the other night, and we saw 10 deer in the woods. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As someone who, in a previous job, you traveled a lot,
Yep.
what is your thoughts on the airport? The KCI airport.
Okay, there's pros and cons to it.
Okay.
I will say, so as a frequent traveler, it's amazing because you can get in and out of there really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had to get there super early to get through, security, because it's just fast. It's easy. I loved the valet at the Southwest.
Yes.
At Southwest Gate. That was awesome. But but the food options are very lacking.
What food options?
Yeah, exactly. Particularly when you're gluten-free. There's not a whole lot there either.
I didn't even think about that.
It's kind of embarrassing. Like when people come visit our town and they have to fly through the airport, it's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
But then I always try to just bring in the positives. Well, it's really quick and easy to get through.
Yeah. So are you excited if the new airport? Well, they say they're going to build a new airport, but are you looking forward to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's very overdue.
They keep saying that it'll have the same convenience, but I don't think that's impossible.
I don't know if that's possible.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Here we go. I got your next question for you. The Kansas City metropolitan area has more freeway lane miles per capita than any other large metropolitan area in the United States.
Wow.
What is your favorite road?
Oh, my favorite road.
And why is it I-70?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I-70. I was just talking to my dad this weekend about I-70 and how it's like a death trap.
Yeah.
Maybe 150.
Oh, okay, 150
Yeah.
out past Belton, Grandview, Lee Summit area. Yeah.
So I live in South Lee Summit. And when I used to work, in the corporate world, I worked in Lenexa. Mm-hmm. And so I used to always take 435, 470, go through the triangle. And it was like a nightmare, like gripping the steering wheel, awful. And then there was road work one year, so I just started taking the back way. And I'd take 150. And I discovered like it was the most beautiful drive, and the sun would be rising. And I could look at all the beautiful countryside, and I'd get to work and I wasn't like gripping the steering wheel stressed. And I was like, oh, that's a lovely drive. Yeah.
Very nice. I'm going to give you 10 points for that.
Woohoo!
Are you a sports fan?
Yes.
What year will the Royals win another World Series?
Okay. We've got 85. Okay, so they won in 85. They won in 2045.
Okay, 2045.
Yep.
You're going way out. All right.
It's their pattern. They gotta have a pattern, right?
This is another question that was added to the quiz not long ago, and maybe you have one, maybe you don't. Do you have a favorite? There's all these really awesome breweries that are popping up, like all around town and stuff. Do you have a favorite, like one of these new like breweries that you have gone to?
Well, since I had kids 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago, I don't think I've been to a brewery since then.
Okay, so the answer to that question is no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, there are?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
There are.
That's really cool.
That's pretty neat, right? Okay, we're going to move on. Favorite local event? Do you have a favorite local event or a favorite thing that you go to every year,
Gosh.
Is this another hard question because you have kids now?
Yes. Yeah. Gosh, this is really showing my lameness.
That's okay. Some people have looked at me when I say, "What's your favorite local event?" They go, "What event?" And I go, "No, like any event that you enjoy." Anything. And they're like, I don't know, like hanging out with my buddy on the week. No,
that's not an event.
Like an event, like there's Boulevardia and there's like the Art Fest and there's Middle of the Map Fest. Like, is there something cool? And they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know." So is it an I don't know for you?
Well, we take the kids to stuff on occasion. So anytime there's like a free movie night somewhere, a movie in the park, we always like to do that kind of stuff. All the
free, there's a lot of fun stuff for kids to do.
Yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff.
What's your aside from the park and stuff like that, is there any other stuff that you like taking your kids to that's real fun or real kind of off the wall that they like to do? Other than going to the park and movie nights and stuff? No,
but you know what? This is a call to anyone entrepreneurial out there with a buttload of money to invest. Yeah. If someone would create, if you've been to the Magic House in St. Louis.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Between the Magic House and the St. Louis, City Museum?
Yes!
Yeah.
We have nothing like that here.
That would be pretty
cool. To that level. So, my husband and I have been saying for years, someone needs to create that here in Kansas City. We would go there all the time.
That'd be a lot of fun.
But Sky Zone's pretty fun.
Is that trampolines?
Yeah.
I am always scared to go do that.
Yeah.
Strictly because I'm afraid that I'm just going to bounce too high. Here we go. I got a couple more questions here for you. When you do get a chance to get away from the kids, what's your KC date night? What's your date night? What are you gonna go do? What are you and Trevor gonna go do? Gonna go party? No, you're not gonna go party. Sorry.
Nope. Yeah, there's
you're
no
gonna go
partying.
like get a bite to eat. You're gonna go see a movie. Like what's your Kansas City date night?
Yeah, so we're not movie people either.
Oh really?
No, yeah, we're very much foodies.
Okay.
So we're gonna go have like a really killer dinner
Are you
somewhere.
gonna try something new, or are you like
Yes.
do you like trying new stuff, or is it like I gotta go to the Staples? Like
No, we try to try new places,
okay.
and we go places like we would never take the kids
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's too
yeah.
expensive.
Right.
So we'll try somewhere new, and then we love to do outdoor stuff. So we'll do like soccer golf down
Oh.
at is it Heart of America Park, I think?
Yeah.
Down by the zoo. So we'll do soccer golf, or we really want to try ibex. That's like next on our list, the climbing gym.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
yes.
inside. But still, we like to do like active stuff, or we'll just go hiking.
Go hiking.
Yeah,
Okay. So
we
it's
do that
it's
a lot.
nice little
Go kayaking. Yeah, outdoor stuff.
You're not gonna go to like some crazy concert or something like that. Because you
No.
getting around people is too much for you. You're like I want to. It's me versus the planet. I want to go climb a rock. I'm gonna go walk
Yes.
up a hill.
Well, and I kind of turned into a pumpkin at like 9 or like 9 or 10 o'clock. I am worthless, completely worthless. So a concert's out because those
Okay.
get over late.
Okay, all right, that's fine. 6 points. Here we go. I got another one for you. Let's see here. What is your favorite Kansas City fountain?
Oh, my favorite. Oh, actually, I have a good answer to this one. Okay, it is the fountain in front of Seasons 52 down on the plaza.
The Peeing Boy?
I think it might be a woman holding something.
Okay.
I have a picture of Trevor and I in front of that fountain because we took a photo that night to commemorate. Like, that was the night we decided that I was going to start angiegensler.com. And we have
Oh.
a picture in front of that fountain.
Oh, okay. So it's like, this is the moment.
Yep.
You captured the moment. Okay.
Yep.
I like it. Very nice. I've got, okay. What, do you have a question for me?
What's your favorite fountain?
What's my the Peeing Boy? I have being a Northlander, because I basically grew up in Northland. I remember going to, there's in North Kansas City, before you like start working your way down towards Armour and stuff, there is a fountain that is, it's like a mother or a grandmother and then like children, and it's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're all on these little like posts and pedestals, and and I remember my grandma taking us down around to the parks around there and stuff, and she always been like, "Oh, I love that fountain because it reminds me of hanging out with my grandkids."
Aw.
And then one day the fountain froze, and I said something to the effect of my grandma, like, "Look, Grandma, that lady's frozen in ice," and she was not happy with me about that, and. So I'm going to go with that fountain.
Okay, good one. Actually, I do have another question for you.
Oh, yeah.
Who is the coolest guest you've had on your podcast?
Oh, I can't answer that question.
You don't want to make anybody
No,
else feel
I don't want to
bad?
make any. I don't like making any favorites. There are certainly people that I've enjoyed talking to that I would love to speak to again. There are certainly people that for me, it's more so about I don't want to play favorites. There are certainly interviews where I've left the interview going, I have no idea if that was good or not. Like you talk to somebody and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, we recorded an interview, but I don't really know how that turned out. I have in my mind like some memories of like people that I spoke to. Like I will never forget speaking to at the Uptown Arts Bar. I had an interview with Jeanette Powers, and it was like the middle of the day, and we were like in kind of the back area of the Uptown Arts Bar. It was real quiet, and then all of a sudden like the air conditioner started on, but we were just like cracking each other up for like 45 minutes. I'm sure that episode is like really hard to listen to because we're just like joking back and forth, and then we just like played off each other really well, and then I started rapping at one point, like,
That's
like I
awesome.
don't know, like, but it was like real early on in podcasts. So I was like, yeah, this works. I think the thing that I can tell you this though, I think the thing for me with the podcast, because I feel like you get to that point where you're like, oh, I need like a bigger and better guest. I need someone that's like got all the power in the world. Like I want, like for the longest time I was like, oh, you know what who I want to interview? I want to interview the mayor, because that makes all the sense in the world, because it's Kansas City, and I would talk to the Kansas City mayor, and
Yep.
I think I'd still do it if I got the opportunity, but I don't think that's so much of a priority for me anymore, because I like going and talking to people that probably you would never hear from on a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, like I find that the interactions with people that probably have never talked on a podcast before, or like have some really weird thing that they do, are the more fun ones, because it's some I get to learn, you know, and I'm afraid that if I talk to someone that like is, you know, has a name, or, you know, you talk to the mayor, that it's all going to be kind of like canned responses, you know,
yep.
like they're so like media trained, you know, to the
Yeah.
point like, oh yes, I agree with that, and you know, you're just kind of like, you know, okay, well, but what do you like? If I ask someone, you know, a silly question like pop or soda on the Casey quiz, I imagine the mayor would be like, what? You know,
Yeah.
like you're not gonna get it. But like some people, you know, it's so. Did that answer your question? It really didn't. I did a really nice pivot there.
That was good. That was a good pivot, actually.
You
but
did.
but you still answered. You gave me a memorable one. That was good.
I do what I can. Try to answer. Final question
'Kay.
here on the Casey quiz. With the final question, we always end with what's called the Google challenge. Okay.
'Kay.
And so what I do is I go to the Google machine and I type in a word, right, or a word or a phrase, and then I let Google do the autofill.
Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned that you like going hiking.
Yep.
Earlier. Okay. So I went to the Google machine, and I typed in hiking is blank. So it is your turn to fill in. What do you think the Google machine is saying? So hiking is
exhausting, pointless. I bet they said pointless.
okay. Is that your final answer? This is an interesting one. It says the first one is hiking is a bit like life, which I wonder if
That's
that could be
hilarious.
like a book or something. Then
Yeah.
hiking is my therapy.
It's my therapy. Okay.
You know,
hiking is life.
And then hiking is life.
oh, that was a lot more positive than I thought it would be.
I was going the same way you were. I was like, oh, somebody's saying hiking is hard. Hiking
Yeah.
is pointless. I don't know how Google does all that, but yeah, that's some good good thoughts.
Yeah, that's deep. Deep thoughts
That
by
is
Google.
deep. Here we go. Let's add up your points here. 5 carry the 1 divided by 2 divided by 3. You are at 41 points.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations.
Is that good or bad?
That is, you know what? You can look it up on the leaderboard online. It's there. You can find where you rank at. I'm sure you're right near the top. Angie, thank you so much for taking the Casey quiz.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show.
All right, we're nearing the end of our time today. I've learned a lot. We've talked about marketing. We've talked
Yep.
about blogging.
Yep.
We've talked about, you know, hiking. We've talked about, you know, silly things. You know, it was a fun show. Angie, thank you so much for being on. But before we go, this is your time to shine. It is your time to tell people where they can find you, maybe give them information about, you know, the floor is yours.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You can go for it.
Okay,
Here we go.
so yeah,
I'm going to shut up.
You can just find me at angiegensler.com, and I'm sure you'll probably have a link in
We
your show
will
notes.
link all that on
Yep.
from our website. So yes, if you go to the kansascitypodcast.com, yes, it'll be
Okay.
there.
Yep. So go to Cole's website, and you can get the link to mine. And on there, I have a few different freebies. So I've got a
Ooh.
free ebook on how to start a blog, and then I have a free masterclass on how to get more traffic to your blog. So come to the website, you can get some of those freebies and just get started. I have a whole resource library with a bunch of different resources too. So head on over there, and I'll hook you up.
Very nice. All right. So definitely we will, like Angie said, we will have links to Angie's website from our website, thekansascitypodcast.com. Remember, you can always follow me on Twitter at Cole Lindberg, and make sure to check out, you can follow us, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Kansas City Pod. Any final thoughts before we leave today?
No, I guess, well, I say no and then yes.
It's very contradictory.
I know,
But go ahead,
I know, very,
yes.
very confusing.
Any final thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
I do want to say, so my personal mantra is
Yeah.
perseverance, not perfection, is the key to success. So
like
that's what I would like to just leave listeners with is, if you are sitting at home, if you're working out, if you're in your car, whatever it is that you're doing right now and you're listening and you have this itch to start something, to pursue a dream, the key to it is perseverance. It's not about being perfect. It's not about doing it right, following the exact steps. It's just about persevering and chugging away day after day.
And with that, we will go. Thank you so much, Angie, for being on the show. We'll see everybody. We'll see everybody next time here on the Kansas City Podcast. Bye.